Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Stranger Things, Season 2, Episode 6, The Spy. This was a great episode. It is kind of, like I said, the first few episodes were definitely all of the build-up, learning who the characters are, and stuff like that. And then, kind of like I said in the Season 1 reviews, this is where we start to see all of the miniature teams start to get together. So we know when we get to the final climax of the season, we'll see everybody team up together to fight the big bad. So from the very beginning, we see Will just crashing, having his seizure and everything from them like burning the vines and everything. And then Hopper's being like scrubbed down. It's kind of a weird scene with him like against the wall and they're like decontaminating him and stuff. It was kind of odd. So Dustin gets with Steve, which we saw in the last episode, because he still has the bat with the nails in it, and he wants to show him Dart. And so they go to the basement and they go down in there, and then Steve finds like Dart's skin because Dart has like shed his skin and grown some more. And not only that, he's broken through the wall of the basement to escape. So Dart's becoming more and more Demogorgon as it continues through. Seeing Jonathan, Nancy, and the weird Murray character celebrate the fact that they made all of these tapes for Barb and they're sending them out to all the big newspapers was a little bit too much for me, especially when he's like projecting like how Jonathan and Nancy feel about each other. And then of course when Jonathan and Nancy do finally hook up, and then the next morning where it's awkward and they're all eating breakfast and Murray's like, so how was the pullout? And watching Jonathan like cough into his coffee and he's like, I'm talking about the sofa. Like it was a really cheesy line that I don't think was 100% necessary, but it was also really funny at the same time. We see Will coming out of his episode, but now he doesn't really know what's going on. Like, he doesn't know who Dr. Owen is. He kind of knows who Mike is, but he doesn't know who Hopper is. So some stuff is clearly going on inside Mike, or going inside Will, and like we don't really understand what it is yet. We see Lucas go to Max's house, which again, seeing Max and Billy kind of interact, and she does finally confirm that he is her stepbrother, although we've not seen any sort of parental figure going on yet. But so that's kind of interesting that we see Lucas go there, and especially after the last episode with the arcade, Lucas is like, if you want proof, now's the time. You got to come with me. So she sneaks out the window and they ride off together, which again, this is kind of watching these groups come together. The most kind of fucked up scene was where they're burning the vine, and as they burn it, Will has like an episode. Like, the closer the flame gets to it, the hotter he gets, and he starts convulsing. And even Joyce is like, what are you doing to my son? And finally Hopper is the one who freaks out, and he's like, no, get it away. So, but it's kind of showing that connection between Will and whatever it is from the Upside Down. I love the scene where Dustin and Steve kind of have their like big brother bonding moment, and Steve tells him how to do his hair, which is a little bit of a spoiler, but we'll see that at the end of the season. And he's like, use the Farrah Fawcett spray, and Dustin kind of laughs at him. So that was a great little heartwarming moment. Hopper tries to get a hold of Eleven, but I think this is the first episode of the entire series that we don't see Eleven at all. She's not in it. But he's trying to get a hold of her to kind of say, hey, I'm not missing because of our fight, I'm missing because I'm stuck somewhere. So that's kind of great. We finally see Steve and Dustin's team up with Lucas and Max, and they meet up from the bus graveyard, whatever it is, from the first season. And so Steve is willing to go out and fight Dart because he's like, okay, I can fight this little baby Demogorgon, let's do it. But multiple Demogorgons start showing up, and it's almost like a trap. And so all of them hide in the bus, and then suddenly they get called off and they go somewhere, and we don't quite understand, but we know shit's about to get real. We're getting to that climactic point. Will starts crying, and Mike's like, what's wrong? And Will's like, I'm sorry, he made me do it. And then you realize that Will was supposed to be like the double agent. He was supposed to be the spy for us, looking at the Upside Down. But it turns out that the Upside Down creature has actually been using Will. And so now we start to see like the repercussions of that. And then it ends on probably one of the better cliffhangers with the Demogorgons coming up out of the hole. So now we know that there's about to be a big attack. Overall, I would say it was a great episode. We're just about at that cusp of the climax. And I think they did a great job. I'm so far I'm kind of enjoying this season. I still don't fully think it's as good as the first season, but overall I'd say it's really, really well done. For those who have seen this one, what did you think about all of the different teams? Go ahead, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time for The Lost Sister.